Hey guys, welcome back to Etheria Restart. In today's video, we just had this notice go up with a flash update, which is going to be a buff to Liliam. Now, I know they previously said that they wouldn't do buffs outside of end of season. I think that my memory off that is that that was a reaction to the nerfs that happened to, well, whatever you want to call it, the Shadow Sanya changes, the Jada changes and the Veronica changes that all happened. And, that got a lot of backlash. And they said, well, listen, we won't balance till outside of a arena season. But I think more the issue was that they were balancing PvE. And so I honestly don't mind this. Let me know what you guys think. I think if the PvP meta, and talking to a bunch of the top players, like the PvP meta is stale as hell, and we've sent that feedback to them. So I think doing some sort of balance changes during the season, I think is fine. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But for this one, it is just in relation to Liliam and her skills. And so I will go through these. I'll give you my thoughts. This update is due to go live in about 5 hours or so. I'll do some testing. I have put 11 lattices into mine, so my builds are not the best, but, We'll take a look at these changes anyway. So based on our data and player feedback following the release of new Animus, we found that Liliam's in-game performance has not met our original design expectations. After careful evaluation, we have decided to implement the following buffs and fixes for this Animus. So skill, the changes below reflect the skill. Okay, so this is at max skill level, these changes. So I'm assuming it'll have a flow down effect to the lowest skills as well. But skill 2, she deals 2 hits have gone up from 180% to 200%. So that's now up to a 400% multiplier, up from 360. Damage to a single enemy for every 1% HP the target has lost, the final damage increases by 1.2%. So we got a base multiplier increase and then a final multiplier increase as well. So that's that one. Maybe we'll get a few more kills on that one now, because I find when I'm using her, but once again, my build is not great, she struggles to kill with this thing. So maybe that helps out a bit there. There's one big thing in this skill 3 that I think is actually a big change to her kit. So the next one is Liliam applies attack up and speed up to herself for 2 turns, then deals 550% damage up from 500% damage to a single enemy. When the target's HP is above 60%, increases final damage by 50%. Ignores shields when the target is a non-boss, destroys their max HP equal to 100% of the damage dealt. Now, this is honestly the biggest change in this for me, at least, off of just reading it without testing it. Because often, I bring her into matches against Tiamats, and I'm like, okay, we're just gonna nuke this max HP, and then it's three ultimates later, we're still not doing much. So I think the destroyed max HP to 100% is actually the biggest change in here for me. Damage multiplier is great, but this as a functionality to deal with bruises, which are so heavy in the meta currently, I think this is a big change to that kit. Now, once again, I could be wrong. I haven't tested it. But just my initial thought is this now makes her an answer to bruiser teams. Now with an enemy team I've done this in games already, but it just takes a way longer time where you just sort of hit them with your ultimate every time and reduce their max HP to 20%. And that way they don't really do too much damage. So you can just leave that team out alive without proccing her amber and just wait for the ramp up and the healing reduction of the battlefield to ramp up. That's kind of the way I deal with teammates when I have her on the field. And I think this just makes it happen more quickly. Another one is Sanya. Now maybe I can just go ahead and start targeting Sanyas straight off the bat with this skill. And that sort of disrupts the whole enemy stall out team that's meant to last 120 turns type thing. So I think this is the big change. Once again, I will definitely test it because I at the start of the week, I did my weekly points for RTA. I'm sitting in Platinum 1. I was bouncing between Plat 1 and Plat 3. And I just haven't touched it since then because I really wasn't having fun in those games. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping that we see maybe some sort of other shift in the game at the moment. Like I said, I'm speaking to a lot of top players who are just finding games tedious at the moment. And even at where I am, I'm finding them tedious as well. But that is where we're at. So that is the change. And then this one, I believe, is additional. When the target is a boss, increase final damage by 50%. I don't think that was there before. We'll go check her skills in a sec. But I think that is an additional line line of text, which means now maybe she'll do decent boss damage as well. Have to wait and see on that one. But yeah, I mean, I still think, you know, I've got a max dupe Ditting. I still think his damage is going to be higher. But this could be a nice little boost to her if you don't have like a max dupe Ditting and you decided to invest in her. I'll have to double check that. But then we've got a bug fix on her skill 2. Fixed an issue where at skill levels 1, 2, 3, and 4, the final damage increase for every 1% HP of the target loss was not calculated correctly. I don't know whether that means her skill 2 was just not dealing the extra damage, or whether it was dealing less, or whether it was just like somewhere in between. I'm not too sure, but we'll have to wait and see how her skill 2 feels after this, after the buff, and after that change as well. But like I said, multiplier buff always going to give like more damage. Awesome. But I think this one that's something that I'm really looking forward to for dealing with all the bruiser teams that are out there at the moment. So I think this could be a nice little change. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe it just becomes bruiser versus bruiser, and if you get her, you're in the better bruiser position because you could speed up the bruiser damage match. I don't know where this ends up at. But yes, I think more ways to answer the bruiser meta is going to be a nice thing, because it's like me, I always like playing a bruiser meta. Like I like playing bruiser, but I like playing bruiser when it's not the meta. I like it when it's like the counter meta. When bruiser is the meta, it's like, it's just toxic is where I'm at. But yeah, I mean, I'll probably play bruiser no matter what. I'm not fast enough on my account, but yeah, hopefully, you know, if they can shift up the meta a little bit, that'd be great. Let's go double check her skills at the moment. Once again, I might have a new build for mine. I've been farming for Law of Silence, and I just can't get one, guys. So this is just kind of where I'm at, and I haven't changed it in a while. But dude, I just want a Law. Please just give me a Law. I'll do some more farming. We'll see where we get to. But yeah, let's check out this skill 3, because I don't think it had that extra boss damage. The hit ignores shields and will steal the targets equal to... Yeah, it doesn't say anything about... No, so now the extra damage against bosses is now an added effect. So I'd be curious to damage check her against the Ditting. You know, maybe in teams where you're like, especially 4-man teams where you're struggling to bring... When I say when you're struggling, I mean when I'm struggling, because I'm looking at it from my perspective, because I've got a max dupe Ditting and I've got her invested. Maybe that becomes the thing where... if you are fighting a boss and you can't fit in an attack buffer into your team, but I mean, normally with those YOLO Ditting teams, you are bringing the attack buff normally through the Valerian, but I don't know, maybe if you can't bring the attack buff, now you have a way to have the attack buff plus that boosted damage, so... I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So I'll test her out. I mean, I've got her built, so of course I'll test her with what I have. I'll put my Ditting's gear on her and test her out. That's not the gear. The gear is currently on. Where is it? It's currently on you. But yeah, I'll put the gear on. We'll test her out and see how it goes once this update comes in about 5 hours. Now, I got my kids' school disco tonight. I got to drop them off at and stuff. So I'll see how I go for time. But yeah, I mean, I like that they are doing adjustments mid-season. Let me know what you guys think. Like I said, I think it's a nice thing. I like the fact that we are getting, you know, if everyone's getting sick of it, let me know if you guys have been enjoying RTA. But I just think it's been the games are just way too damn slow, and you just end up just cheesing. I found like most of my games that I was playing, I ended up on a big loss streak. But yeah, a lot of the games I was playing, I think this was one of the ones. Nah, I can't find it. But yeah, it's like tank out versus tank out, and it just takes so damn long, and they're just all like that. And it's about who cheeses the heal reduction better. So I like it. Let me know what you guys think. Do you like balance changes happening at this stage, or do you want them only to happen outside of seasons? And like I said, as long as it's not a nerf to PvE, if it's a PvE buff to a character, I'm cool. If it's a PvP balance being buff or nerf, I always think buffs are the better way to do it because it pisses less people off. But if it's a PvP balance, I think I'm cool with it to happen whenever. If it's a PvE buff, I'm cool with it to happen whenever. I just don't like PvE nerfs because that shit's just the boring stuff that I don't want to get affected. So that is my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. As always, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.